Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. Gonna have to excuse the rough voice. Only been awake a little while, but I was listening to Saxon's new album, Hellfire and Damnation, pretty much all night long. I just had it playing continuously all night. Got it yesterday. I've been listening to it this morning, and I just couldn't wait to get this one out there. So this is just what it is. This album is pretty exciting for me. Like I said, it's Saxon's new album, Hellfire and Damnation. The new one about this one, a little bit of a change in the lineup here. They have departed, or Paul Quinn has departed the band, I should say. They have parted with him, and they have in his place, from Diamond Head, Brian Tatler. So that's a pretty cool switch, I think. If they're going to change a member and they're going to do that, I think that was a pretty good choice to make. And quite honestly, after listening to this, I think it was the perfect choice to make. After their last album of new material, Carpe Diem, I thought was pretty good. Enjoyed that album. And the only other things they had in between it all were those Inspirations albums, the cover songs, which were kind of like, I didn't really care. They weren't bad or anything, but they just sounded very uninspired. They played them fine, whatever. They didn't really do a whole lot with them, so we haven't had a whole lot from them in the past few years, other than Carpe Diem, which I thought was pretty good. And but this one, man, it's good. I don't even know where to start. There's a couple of nitpicky things on it, but overall, I think it's really good. It starts with one of the little nitpicky things is it's got an intro, which was totally unnecessary. Just get into it. The first song, title song, just kicks. It just kicks right in. The production on this whole album is really tight. I was actually really impressed with how good the drums sound on this album. That's one thing that really stood out. Biff sounds great singing. He's 73 years old, and this guy is killing it. He's singing better than a lot of these guys out there, like 50 years younger than him. It's amazing. He just sounds better. He sounds even more mature. He's got a little bit of a grit to his voice, which actually I think makes it sound even better than he's ever sounded. He's still hitting all the notes. It's just unbelievable how good this guy sounds. And the other thing that really stood out on here is how well produced the background vocals are. I think that's one thing that a lot of bands overlook, is how important sometimes background vocals are. And they're not something you should, in this style of music, in my opinion only, but it's not something you should really hear up front. But they should be spot on, and they should be like in the right places. And I think they did it on this album really well. And let me tell you, the guitar work on here is insane. It's just cool listening to the guitar players just shred and play what the song calls for. It's not like they're trying to show off, but they're not holding back either. The playing on this is very melodic, but they are fast at the same time when they need to be. So there's a few other the slower portions in the song. There's a couple songs where they slow down a little bit, but only for a few seconds till it kicks right back in again. But they take advantage of that, and there's not a wasted note on this album at all. There's nothing wasted. I don't think there's a bad song on here. There's some songs that stand out a little bit more than the others. Like the opening song I thought was really good. And it ends with a song called Supercharger, which I just thought had a really cool riff to it. And I thought it bookended really well. A couple of other highlights for me musically were Something in Roswell, and I like the Kublai Khan song, and 1066 I thought were all really highlights of the album. The only little nitpicky thing I'm going to bring up is, and it's really nitpicky, but sometimes the lyrics are a little bit, I don't know, they went for the low-hanging fruit. It sounds like, the rhymes were sky, there's something up high and rhyme and falling from the sky, just simple little things like that. And maybe the one about the kid under the sheets and listening to the radio, I just thought was a little bit on the cheesy side. Cool riff, cool song though. That one's got a really cool riff too. It's got that old 80s sounding style riff to it, but still has a little modern edge to it. Like I said, the production on this is really, really good. So that's my only nitpicky thing at all, is maybe they could have taken a little bit more time with the lyrics. In a band, this was just 24 albums. when you're younger, in the 80s, and you're singing about metal and leather, and it was easier to get away with that stuff. I know it's still the same style of music, and they really haven't veered too far away from what they started with, which I love, because I hate it when bands like go too far off. I like it when they experiment, but I hate it when bands like go way off out in left field with something and they totally lose their base. So this band has never done that. The only thing I wish is that maybe as they matured as people, maybe the lyrics matured a little bit. That's all I'm going to say about that. I've got it on too long about the lyrics, as it is already. But as far as musically goes, as far as the song structures go, they, to me, remind me a lot of the style of, like, how Priest, like, has kind of come back a little bit and gotten really more back to their roots, but they're still sounding fresh. This just reminds me of the same thing. They haven't lost their roots at all. They've got that the fire in their playing. I'm not comparing them to Priest, because I don't think they sound like Priest. It's that same. They play the same style of music, obviously, but I don't think they sound like Priest. The thing about Saxon is they're a really tight band, but they have a loose feel, which I like. It sounds to me like the band is like right in sync with each other. They've locked in. The rhythm section is locked right in. It doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of like editing going on in here. It sounds like humans playing music. I mean, I don't really know what they did in the studio, but they captured it in the production anyway. They captured the feel of the music. They have that little bit of a looseness to them where it's not every little tiny note is nitpicked and perfect, which I love. It makes it sound like a human playing metal. And I think that's what we all grew up, anybody that's my age anyway, grew up listening to this style of music, loved about it. It sounded like humans playing music. You could go pick up a guitar and jam with your buddies in the garage and play these songs, at least try to anyway. And it sounds like a band, and it's fun, and it's just like what you want to go see live. You want to go see a band play live, and you get to hear this on the record, and it just sounds like a band just, there in the room with you playing the songs. It doesn't sound like it was produced. So anyway, I don't know if I explained it. Wow, you can tell it's early in the morning. Only one cup of coffee so far. Anyway, that's the feel I get from this album. I really, really have enjoyed this album. And I hope everybody else likes it as much as I do. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. As always, feel free to share your thoughts. Anything else you want to share if you've listened to this album yet, feel free to share what you thought of it, or any other things maybe that we should check out in the Saxon catalog that you, or if you disagreed with me with on the Inspirations one, whatever. Feel free to comment. I only ask that, people be, not rude, because there's been a couple people lately that think they own the internet, and I just don't understand that. But anyway, other than that, like, share, and subscribe to help keep this music alive. And this is one band that's doing a pretty good job themselves keeping their music alive. If they keep releasing stuff like this, I mean, they don't show any signs of slowing down, so that's cool. Anyway, really enjoyed it. Talk to you guys on the next one. We'll see you.